It is Monday, April the 6th. Where did March go? Did we just talk free agency yesterday?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's okay. The sun is out. The weather is nice. Spring is here. And another episode of Unbiased starts right here, right now. Let's go, people. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into another episode of Unbiased, only here on 609 Sports Talk Radio, coming to you guys live from a breezy, beautiful Hamilton, New Jersey, even though it's supposed to get cold again tomorrow. This is the show that brings you all your unbiased sports talk with no agenda every single Monday. And as always, we are your hosts, Sam Nelson, the jabroni of the Northeast, Tyler Adams. Mr. Adams, how are we doing today?
Well, Jabroni, doing pretty well up until that intro. But anyways, beautiful day. We got NCAA Men's Basketball Championship. Heat are still fighting to get out of the play-in. And, of course, NFL news.
That's always the best. First of all, how was our weekend? How was our Easter weekend?
It was good.
Very nice.
Didn't
Very
do
nice.
much. Can't complain.
I came home and watched baseball all day, so that's a good day for me. Phillies lost, but it's okay. But, a lot of stuff to look forward to over this past weekend. Phils are playing good baseball. We'll be getting into that on Hitting Home on Wednesday. Winners of their last two series. Of course, they're in San Francisco now, so I'm not going to be able to watch the next two games because it's going to be way past my bedtime. Flyers, man. Porter Martone has arrived. They are currently sitting in a playoff spot after a nice, gritty 2-1 win over the Bruins down at the old Xfinity Mobile Arena on Sunday. God, I wish I went. But you know what? You know what makes me the happiest over this weekend? Not only was it a good weekend, and we hope everyone had a blessed Easter weekend with their friends, family, and loved ones. You know what makes me happy about today?
What is that?
The number 800. You know why the number 800 makes me so happy today? Because that is the number that the 609 Facebook page just hit this weekend. 800 followers. Thank you guys so freaking much. I just knocked my headphone off my head.
Everyone who's been with us on this second journey of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Is it really the second journey? Is it just a replay? It's kind of like the wrestler that gets hurt and comes back. But no, absolutely. I'm going to echo that off of what you said. Thank you, everybody that has been with us since day one. This has been an awesome journey. We appreciate every single one of you guys that support us. And like we said, we can't do these shows without you. We could, but what's the point of sitting here? I could talk to him on the phone about the stuff we talk about, but the fact that you guys come in every week, you flood the comment section, you show support, you show the love. We love and appreciate every one of you. But all right, let's get into it. We got a big show tonight. We'll talk some Final Four. That kind of went how we expected. We'll get into that later on. We got a lot of NFL stuff to get into this week. Some major news, some of it just breaking today. Had to do some editing into the description this afternoon. We're going to jump into the first bit of news, and that was last week. The Las Vegas Raiders have added a quarterback. They agreed to a deal with Kirk Cousins to come to Las Vegas. Now, I'm going to try to explain this contract as best I can.
Good luck.
I'm going to go with the Adam Schefter tweet about it because he kind of dumbs it down for me. Kirk Cousins will sign a 5-year, $172 million deal with the Raiders. which in reality is a 1-year, fully guaranteed $20 million deal that also contains a club option for 2 years at $80 million. Already completely lost. The clearly there's void years attached to this contract.
Oh yeah.
The Falcons will pay Cousins $8.7 million this season. The Raiders another 1.3, and Las Vegas has also agreed to its new quarterback have agreed to a fully guaranteed $10 million roster bonus on the third day of the 2027 new league year. Now remember, this year coming up, it's a 1-year fully guaranteed at $20 million. This is the most notable. It also sets another new mark. This will be the 11th consecutive season where Kirk Cousins' contract is fully guaranteed.
His new name is Mr. Guaranteed. He does not go by anything else. Not Primetime Kirk. Nothing. He is Mr. Guaranteed.
His agent should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Without a doubt, he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%.
But Tyler, what are your thoughts on Kirk Cousins going out to Las Vegas?
So I think it's pretty simple. He's basically the Raiders' insurance for Mendoza. They don't know. I mean, it's pretty obvious they're drafting Mendoza. Mendoza should be the starter, but maybe they're kind of taking the Minnesota Vikings approach back when they drafted McCarthy and they brought in Sam Darnold. Before McCarthy got hurt, Darnold was looking like the starter regardless. McCarthy getting hurt just kind of confirmed it. But I definitely think it's them trying to play it safe because this is the NFL. Anything can happen. Right? Who knows? Maybe Mendoza comes into the league, has a rough go his rookie year, it takes a little time to settle in. We don't know. But from what it kind of seems like with the contract is not a lot of it guaranteed, except for the first year. And after that, it seems like it's up to the Raiders on if they want to continue to pay him or let him go. Is that kind of the right assumption there?
I think that's part of the assumption. Again, I'm not trying to break down this. This contract is all over the place. It's a 1-year deal where it fully guaranteed at 20 million.
Yeah.
In reality, it's a 5-year, 172 million. There's a $10 million roster bonus that's fully guaranteed if he's on the roster in the third day of next year's league year, which I do not see that happening.
I don't either. I honestly see this as a 1-year kind of rental agreement. And from what you said, that a few other teams are paying some money too. So
The
is that
Falcons are still
in
paying him some
addition
money.
or is that combined?
I think that's in a. That's a good question. I'm assuming it's in addition.
Dang, so he's getting 20 mil guaranteed from the Raiders. And what was it, 8 million something from the Falcons?
Yes.
Wow. Man. Kirk knows how to find them deals.
Told you, greatest agent of all time. I've never seen a guy get this much guaranteed money ever.
Oh yeah.
Look, it's
And
not that Kirk's been a bad.
And he hasn't played a full season since 2022.
Well, okay, hold on. In his defense, he wasn't the starter full time last year.
I know. I mean, he was the starter in 2024, and then he lost the starting job. Partially due to I think he had some injuries, and they were kind of like, all right, go take a rest. So he played 14 games in 2024, 10 games last year. You know, it is what it is. They're not expecting him to come in and be a franchise-changing player. That's not it. This isn't what this is. This is just an experienced veteran to bring in with your rookie quarterback that you're going to be taking, number 1 overall.
So here's how I look at it. There's a few things to how I look at this. Number one, let's look at the first one. currently, even if when they draft Fernando Mendoza, that's only 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Mendoza, Aiden O'Connell. They only have 1 quarterback on the roster right now. Where in reality now, teams are carrying 3. So that's number 1. Number 2, has a relationship with Clint Kubiak when Clint and during their time together in Minnesota. So if you're a team that has a new head coach that is about to draft its franchise quarterback, it would be kind of helpful to have a guy that knows the offense that can teach it to a rookie quarterback. And like I said, Kirk has experience in a Clint Kubiak system. They've worked together in Minnesota, probably during one of Kirk's best runs. Also, here's the thing. I understand you're talking about insurance, backup. That's a lot, even if it's only at 1 year and $20 million fully guaranteed, because I cannot see the Raiders keeping him on the 3rd day of the league year next year and guaranteeing him that $10 million, because then that's ultimately locking him into that 2-year option with $80 million. I don't think they're going to want to do that. Do you really think that they're paying a backup quarterback $20 million fully guaranteed?
It's the Raiders. Anything's possible.
That is true. It is the Raiders, and anything is possible.
It is a possibility, that they want to take Mendoza slow, that they want to develop him at the NFL level. They don't want to rush anything. That would be the smart idea. But in today's NFL landscape, they're going to give him a chance to win the starting job.
Sorry.
I don't see it not being an open competition in training camp.
Okay, that's fair enough. But here's the question I'm going to ask you. And we've had this conversation. Just because you are picked number 1 overall, why does that automatically mean you have to get thrusted into the spotlight?
Because that's how the NFL's transitioned to. I don't agree with it. I like the days back when quarterbacks were drafted, developed for 1 to 2 years, had to sit on the bench, learn the game at the NFL level. And I feel like you saw a lot more franchise quarterbacks built that way.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make here. Not only is Kirk a veteran's veteran, not only does Kirk know Clint Kubiak's system, he also knows how to run Clint Kubiak's system. I think the Raiders fans don't jump down my throat at this. I could see a scenario, however you pronounce it, that Fernando Mendoza is not the week 1 starter.
You know what, Sam? I'm going to have to say now I agree with you because of one person's name.
Who?
Tom Brady.
I'm not even going there. I'm not going to even, yeah, well, that's true. The guy's up in the press box. He is an owner. So, but that's the point, though. How many quarterbacks? I'm not talking about Tom Brady. Like I said, just because you are drafted number 1 overall does not mean you have to get thrusted right into the spotlight. Not everybody is Bryce Harper in baseball, And not everybody is. I'm trying to think of a good NFL. Joe Burrow. Not everyone throws 50 touchdown passes in their last college football season. It immediately goes to the NFL as a superstar. Same thing with the NBA. There are guys that have been picked number 1 overall that couldn't play. So I'm not saying Fernando Mendoza is going to be terrible in his first year. I'm not saying that. But does every quarterback automatically just become a hit in the NFL? No, it takes some time for them to develop. Here's a good example. What about Bryce Young in Carolina, picked number 1 overall? Should we talk about the first 30 career games?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's another one.
They were bad. And then, look, he was benched this past year for Andy Dalton, who ironically now is an Eagle. sat behind Dalton for a few weeks. Oh, dude, look what that did for him. Look what just a few weeks of him sitting on the bench did for him. And I mean, look, I mean, I know we like to make some jokes and say things about Andy Dalton, but that's a solid person to be mentored from. A guy who has been a starter in the league for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
A guy who has been a postseason starting quarterback. A guy who's been a quarterback in the league for over a decade. That's a very good guy to learn from. And Kirk Cousins could be a solid mentor as well. He's always been a good leader, a good locker room guy. It's not like he's in there and he's out there for himself. I mean, he gave the
I think
reins up to Michael Penix.
I don't think he willingly gave him up. I remember when he got drafted, Kirk wasn't the most open to that. He definitely said he wasn't there to mentor his replacement. I think those were along the words that he used. Because getting that big contract from them, he thought he was going to be their guy for a few years.
Okay, but
I
then
think
why?
now he's in a different scenario. You know, now he's 37 and he's still getting 20 million guaranteed. So I think he's fine. But it wasn't always the case. He was not always the let me bring up the next best thing.
Yeah, but and again, like I said, but then why take the deal? Why? Because again, it's 20 million
Exactly.
guaranteed dollars. I mean, look,
He
if I was
this
getting
time,
20,
yeah, he took the
yeah,
deal knowing well that they're drafting their future of their franchise this year. So at least he was prepared this time.
exactly. So you sit back there and you think about it, and I could see that case. I don't know a team that pays a backup quarterback 20 million fully guaranteed. I know backups that get, like 2 years, 20 million, 10 million a year. I've seen that. I have never seen a backup quarterback get 20 million fully guaranteed. That's a lot of money.
Well, yeah, but then again, is a lot more riding on this now. It's not just paying for a backup. You're paying for a backup and someone who you may need to rely on more.
So
And
now,
that first
okay,
year was Mendoza.
but then not why not just ride with Aiden O'Connell? He could be serviceable as a backup. You'll need to
Yeah,
spend 20.
because they're not just looking for a serviceable backup. They're looking for if they need to change the starter. And it
Oh,
might be
this
like you
move.
said, it might just be Kirk starts day one, and they see how it goes from there. Or who knows, maybe Mendoza just lights it up in camp, learns the playbook at a really high level, and they're just like, all right, screw it. Let him start. If he looks like he's not comfortable after a few weeks, let Kirk start.
And of course, look, guys want to hear from you. Put in the chat. Do you think there is a chance that Kirk Cousins could be the Raiders starter week one? Let's hear from you. But no, and I still think it's a strong case because again, I don't ever remember a backup quarterback getting 20 million fully guaranteed. I think there is a very good scenario. The two things that make the most sense in this that I brought up are he knows the Kubiak system. He's played in it. He's had success in it. He can run it. And again, Raiders aren't that finished of a product. They don't really have a lot at wide receiver currently. Yes, they got Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. O-line looks a lot better. Tyler Linderbaum's over there now. But they're still not a finished product. Do you really want to I don't know. Do you want to put Mendoza in that situation early on?
Again, that's why I feel like they were willing to put out the money.
I do too, because I think he's going to be the bridge. Honestly think this is going to be a bridge quarterback type scenario. I don't think Kirk signed on there to be the full-time backup, especially if he's only getting the 1 year. Because again, I
Yeah.
do not see how they're going to. I do not see him being a Raider past next year.
That contract doesn't make it into year two. We'll just leave it at that. Why did he not just sign a 1 year deal? Who knows?
Yeah, like we couldn't just
Couldn't
make this
tell
a basic 1 year fully guaranteed $20 million contract. We got to put 14 void. We had to Howie Roseman the contract with 15 void years worth like
Yeah.
$15 billion. He probably has part ownership in the contract as we're speaking.
What's
Dalton,
going
what's
on,
up, buddy?
Dalton?
Good evening. Dalton, of course, is the CEO of the 302 Birds podcast for all your Philly sports culture guys. Go check them out. Great people over there. But now, I'll just be funny. What if it's not Mendoza? Because according to Dan Orlovsky today, schematically, Ty Simpson is a better fit for the Raiders than Mendoza, according to him. According to Dan Orlovsky, Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the draft. Just let me spoil that for you.
Yeah, the guy who struggled to move the football in his college football playoff appearance.
I mean, granted, he is going against the best team in the country in Indiana last year.
And
Yeah, I mean, Mendoza.
he also has this hell of a wide receiving core, too, who kind of went ghost. So that might not be all on him, but.
Yeah, I will say, I think Jeremy Bernard, I think he would be a solid role playing wideout in the NFL. Ryan Williams really disappointed me last year. I thought
He's got a lot to prove this year.
Yeah, now you're going to have another new quarterback. You went from Milroe your first year to Ty Simpson. Now you're going to have another new quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think, because I honestly, when we talk about the best wide receivers in college football, Jeremiah Smith is, I mean, it's Jeremiah Smith and everybody else. But I'm not saying people look to them as the same, but I think some people think Ryan Williams could be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he had an insane rookie year. I mean, not a lot of people walk on as a rookie to Alabama and just perform like that. It's definitely unheard of. But then to follow it up with the sophomore year that he had, that's when it kind of brought things back down to earth. So, definitely, junior year, this is going to be very telling for him. New quarterback. Let's see if he can get his name back out there, because he's probably the favorite if he comes out after his junior year in the years following draft. So that would actually put him in with Jeremiah Smith as well. So, man, if you're looking at Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams as your top two wideouts, could be interesting.
That's why teams are so reluctant to give up draft picks next year, because next year's draft class is loaded. Is Ty Simpson even the second best QB in this draft?
Oh, man, second best QB in the draft. I personally don't think he is, but maybe NFL ready at the moment. But I'm not talking starting caliber NFL ready, but enough tools for the NFL level to find success. Maybe he is that.
Possibly.
I still think the dark horse is Drew Aller. I feel like he's the unpolished gem of the draft. It's going to take a unique coach and a unique situation to get the most out of him, but if a team can, I mean, they could have a franchise-changing player.
Alan's coming in here with some college questions. I like this.
Ooh, man.
First off, he asked, who was the best tight end in the country? Alan, if we're yeah, it's Kenyon Sadiq. If we're talking about NFL prospects right now, it's Kenyon Sadiq. If you're talking about college football, next year, I'm not even there yet. I'm not in that mode yet. But if I'm talking about this past year, it's Kenyon Sadiq. Even though I'm still a big fan of Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt. Speaking of Vanderbilt, what about the undersized Pavia?
He'll get drafted.
And it's a shame because I actually really like Diego Pavia as a player. I thought he really helped put Vanderbilt back on notice last year, and then this year I thought they played really good football. Then I saw him off the field, and I'm like, yeah, I can't stand this guy.
He's very immature for how old he is.
hey, don't try to revitalize that joke from a few weeks ago.
Oh, I don't need to. My joke was a way better implementation.
Okay, so all right, guys, if you want to go back and have a laugh, go back. What was that, about 3 weeks ago?
Probably.
About 3 weeks ago on this show, we were talking about Kyler Murray in Minnesota, and I said that Kyler Murray was 4'11" on a good day. Tyler brought up his actual size and said he's taller than Diego Pavia, and then I said, yeah, he's probably younger than Diego Pavia. First time I've ever seen Tyler almost do a spit take on the show.
Yep. Sam had his funny moment of the year. I'll be waiting until 2027 to get another.
And Anthony, that's the point I'm making. First of all, and that's the one thing I don't like about college football. This is why I thought JJ McCarthy actually would have translated better in the NFL, because he actually did play a lot under center. That's the one problem I do have with college football, is there are a lot of offenses that play under center. It's all shotgun. It's shotgun this, shotgun that. And this is my point, Anthony. This is why I think bringing Kirk Cousins in makes a ton of sense, because Mendoza can sit behind Kirk, who has played under center plenty of his NFL career, and can learn these things. That's why I say, you just because you draft the guy, look, there's only so many Joe Burrows in the world. The guy that's going to be the consensus #1 overall pick and is going to be an absolute stud. There is only a few of them. Even Patrick Mahomes wasn't as highly touted as he is now. He wasn't even close to being the #1 overall pick in his draft. Grant, the guy in his draft was Myles Garrett. Good luck with that. But he wasn't even the best quarterback in that draft. Remember, that was the draft that everyone was clamoring for Watson.
Yeah.
It's all about how you. And look, Mahomes sat a year behind Alex Smith, developed. Oh, joy, his first year, he throws 50 touchdowns. Like, see my point exactly. Sometimes it's better to draft a guy, sit him for a year or even half the year. Now, look, if they're in the season and they're not in the playoff hunt, you want to start Mendoza the final, 2 games? Sure, go right ahead. I think there's a very good case that Kirk Cousins is the opening day starter, and I think he will be the starter if he plays well, because like I said, Fernando Mendoza is a long-term investment to the Raiders. The Raiders since moving to Vegas. Now, it wasn't great in Oakland either, but since moving to Vegas, there is an expectation of them, because you are supposed to be the face of the Vegas sports market, which, by the way, the Golden Knights still own, because they've won 3 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
So, but when you are a storied franchise like the Raiders and an expansion NFL team is the face of your market, that's a problem. That could be a little bit of a problem when you are a known commodity, you are a storied NFL franchise, and you're not the face. That's an issue. So, like I said, I could see Mendoza is a long-term investment, and they need to make sure that he is developed and put in the right position to succeed. I think they're off to a good start. They're already starting to reboot the offensive line. They have Tyler Linderbaum, Jackson Powers-Johnson's moving to guard. I think Colton Miller's a solid tackle. I still think it needs work. They got Brock Bowers, easily probably one of the best tight ends in football, and you and I are both still high on Ashton Genty now that Chip Kelly is far away from that franchise.
Oh, yeah. That was the worst decision they ever made. Bringing in Chip Kelly. Haven't teams learned by now?
No.
You take Chip Kelly out of college, he forgets what football is.
I think Alan was saying me too. I think he was agreeing with our take on Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah.
Kenyon Sadiq is a wide receiver in a tight end's body. It's going to be that's going to be interesting to see where he lands.
He's going to be a matchup nightmare.
Anthony, I get your point. I don't know how he keeps getting all his money guaranteed. I mean, Kirk.
Yeah, right. I'd throw behind a bunch of incentives.
Yeah, can we not get some incentives in these contracts? No, I need fully guaranteed money. And again, Anthony, I don't think he's going to be the backup. You don't pay a backup $20 million guaranteed. If you are a backup, you're getting $20 million with $12 million guaranteed and a lot of incentives. This is a fully guaranteed contract. He is going to start. I really think there's a realistic way that he is the starter next year. I think they're going to let Mendoza sit a year and let him develop, because like I said, You're starting to rebuff the O line. You're still working on it. You have a good start with your weapons. You have one of the best tight ends in the league. You have one of the top young running backs that we think could be in the league. They ain't got crap for wide receivers. So, and again, that kind of hurts because I really think maybe they were hoping of adding a top tier offensive lineman with that pick they got in the Crosby deal, or maybe they take Omar Cooper. So Mendoza has somebody he has a relationship with already. But
Mm-hmm.
now that Crosby's still a Raider. It's not a bad thing. Yes, Alan, and I think that's why I think this move is a Brady move.
Yeah,
I
no, I definitely.
really
That's why I changed up my stance a little bit because I had to think about who's up in the front office now. It's not just the knuckleheads that barely know football. They
it's the
brought it.
best
They brought.
quarterback to ever play the game of
Yeah,
football.
he is a genius mind. I believe if he wanted to be a head coach, he'd be a damn good one. But nah, he's just jumped that. Now he's front office, part owner of the team. And yeah, I really think that he's going to sit back and look at this. He's probably the one who greenlighted signing Kirk Cousins because there's other backups that they could have brought in.
He could have
If
done
it
it
was
himself.
if oh yeah, that's a way to really mentor him, huh? But yeah, there's cheaper backups to be had if it was truly going to be a backup. But paying him that much money, it kind of makes sense that okay, Brady probably said, "Look, we're going to take Mendoza. Don't just throw him out into the fire." I mean, their division alone is still a gauntlet. Give him some time, let him develop, and then hopefully you can kind of recreate like what Mahomes did with Reed in Kansas City.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we haven't talked about much is that we're talking about what they've done personnel wise with the O line, the weapons. And I think they got the perfect head coach in Clint Kubiak for this. And like I said, Kirk has worked with Kubiak. He was the quarterback coach in Minnesota for 2 years. Then before he left the team, he was the offensive coordinator. So he has experience. Kirk has a lot of experience in a Clint Kubiak offense. It's not just to sit there and teach it to Mendoza, it's to run it. So I'm at first when I saw this, I'm like, okay, they needed a third quarterback. But then I'm like, 20 million guaranteed. That doesn't scream backup money to me. That's okay. You're going to start. And the only two ways that we'll see Mendoza early in the year are A, Kirk gets hurt, or B, Kirk is that bad. Because honestly, he didn't play bad in Atlanta last year when he came back in for Penix.
Yeah, he got a lot of Atlanta fans wishing he stayed.
I know a lot of people. I know the first part of his time in Atlanta looked rough. He was coming off a torn Achilles. You could see it in his throwing power. He didn't have that juice in the back in his leg yet. Because when you're trying to step into throws, man, if your legs aren't strong enough, then you're not going to make many. And he was underthrowing a lot of footballs in that first year in Atlanta because he was starting just coming off an Achilles. What have I said about the Achilles? 2-year injury to get yourself physically right. Those things take time.
Unless if you're Jason Tatum.
Okay. Well, you're talking about the most contact sport versus the least contact sport. Get out of here. Last number one overall pick not to start week one. That's a good question, Anthony. I want to look that up actually.
Man, you're going back a while.
I am very cute. I am very curious about this. All right. Oh wow. 2016, Jared Goff.
Really, Jared Goff?
Yep, Jared Goff did not start week one that in 2016.
Was it because of an injury, or was he actually like playing behind somebody?
They both were projected not to be week one starters that year. Because if you remember, Carson Wentz wasn't supposed to be the week one starter either. It was going to be Sam Bradford. The problem was Goff only played 7 games in 2016.
Wow.
I mean, the Rams were a crapshoot back then. But yeah, no, but back if you look at the time in Philly, Carson Wentz was supposed to be the third string quarterback that year, and Sam Bradford was going to be the starter in Doug Pearson's first year, and then they got the trade for Sam Bradford because Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, and they gave the Eagles a first round pick. Then Carson became the starter, and that's why Chase Daniel has hated the Eagles ever since because he's butthurt that he never got a chance to step on the field in the NFL. Even though Chase Daniel doesn't deserve to ever step on the field in the NFL, and now he hates Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts is the same size as Chase Daniel and has had way more success. All right, I'll give you here. Let's play a little game. Oh, this is great. There were 5. No, wait, that's. Can you name the other 2 quarterbacks on the Rams roster that year? This is actually very interesting.
How the hell you want me to guess that?
All right, I'll tell you. The opening day, the week 1 starter who played in 10 games that year, Case Keenum.
Case Keenum.
Case Keenum's been around for a while.
Case Keenum's played on like every NFL team, maybe except for 5 of them.
Third string quarterback that year. It's ironic I bring the Eagles up. Now current Eagles offensive coordinator Sean Mannion.
My gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
What a room that must have been.
Yeah, what a room.
Oh my, Alan, what a comment. Does it fit the screen? No, it doesn't. Hey, look at Alan, you're spot on. And not only that, Alan, another thing, Tom Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe for a while.
Yeah.
It all depends on how a team wants to attack it. And like I said, just because you're a number 1 overall pick, and this kind of goes into what Anthony asked about who was the last not to start, just because you are picked number 1 doesn't mean you should start. Bryce Young shouldn't have started week 1 of his career. We just started seeing the potential of Bryce Young this past year in the second half of the year. Now, granted, they chose to run the ball more with Bryce Young under center, and, of course, drafting Ted McMillan helps a lot, but still, that's the point. That you get a kid in there, you don't have a lot around them, and they struggle, it could do something to them. It could mess some of them up. It's like some people said Carson Wentz should have started week 1. I personally disagree because I think Wentz was the more NFL-ready quarterback than Jared Goff. And yes, I know Jared Goff's had a very good NFL career and Wentz hasn't. But then let's look at it that way. If Wentz doesn't start 2016, then guess what? His rookie year as the full-time starter is 2017. And guess what? I don't think the Eagles win the Super Bowl if he doesn't start in 2016.
No, that's another thing too. A lot of teams look at it as you throw them out there the first year, let them get comfortable. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But most of the time, they ultimately do get comfortable during their rookie year.
And Allen, again, look, Montana sat a year. He sat back in an era where head on a swivel, because if not, you get knocked out. So that's the point. Just because you're picked number 1 doesn't mean you have to start.
It doesn't, but it's still a good chance that he does.
I still don't. I think Kirk's going to start week 1. We could agree to disagree on that, but I'm saying Kirk is starting week 1. You don't guarantee a guy $20 million and sit there and say you're the backup. You can give him backup money. You can give him $20 million with incentives, but you're not guaranteeing a full 1 year, $20 million contract.
And I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we can agree to disagree on this matter, but I think he could be the starter week one. I think having Mendoza sit for a little bit, learn the system, learn the NFL, and like it doesn't have to be the whole year. By week 11, Kirk Cousins could be like, wow, he can't play no more. And it's time to bring in the kid. I also wouldn't be surprised if early in the season that he's the third quarterback.
Nah, they ain't
I've
doing
seen
all
teams
that.
do. I've I've seen teams do it.
They ain't doing all that.
They can't. You. All three quarterbacks are active on game day anyway. What's it matter?
Still, they ain't doing that. They're gonna piss a lot of fans off if they do that.
Not really. What they're pissed off enough. Tyler, there answer the trivia question.
Anthony, my guess is realistic guess 12 teams.
Oh, Zolt's bringing up Baker Mayfield didn't start right away. I think he did.
I thought he did too. Unless if he didn't start the season. Did he
He only
come
played.
on late?
He played 14 games, started 13 in his rookie year. So I think
Yeah,
Zolt.
Zolt did say he didn't start immediately, so he came on and finished the season because the Browns were just so bad, and they still are just so bad.
Tyrod Taylor was the starter to begin the year, and Drew Stanton was the third string.
Oh, 8 teams. All right.
I
I
do.
brought my guess down to a realistic number at least.
What did you guess?
I guess 12. But my first statement was that he played for about like 27 teams.
It feels like he played for 27 teams. But yeah, again, that's my point. It could be 3 games. Doesn't
Yeah,
mean he's going to not start this year. It's just I think there's a scenario where he doesn't start week one, and they worked. Now, look, he could have a great training camp, learn the playbook quickly, and they could say, "Oh yeah, by the way, he's the starter." Kirk, sorry, like that's the point.
that's what I said. I know there's a chance. I know there's a chance that Kirk is realistically going to be the starter, but there's still a chance that Mendoza just impresses them way too much.
And again, he could, but I think this is them trying not to put all the pressure on the kid, especially when nothing on their team is a finished product. And Allen said Montana was a third round pick who was drafted to run the West Coast offense, the only passing offense in a running league. The game back then was built around a stud running back. The West Coast offense changed the league, at least in the NFC, from a running league to a passing league. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many things to learn with it now that some of these quarterbacks cannot always just deal with that, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like Mendoza at Indiana, that's probably as close to an NFL system as he's going to get. Aside from maybe a few other schools like Alabama, Georgia.
You could make the argument. But I will agree with Alan's comment that the West Coast offense is probably one of the most intense offenses to master.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's kind of the style that teams like to go for. Like, again, back then, it was running the football 24/7. So,
Anthony, I couldn't agree more.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Penix now. I mean, who's their backup now?
Let me check. Great question.
Without Kirk, who is the backup?
Let's see. Depth chart. Oh, Tua. We forgot they traded for Tua.
Oh my God.
So yeah, they're going with double lefty quarterbacks. One of them's got to work, right? And if not, then you got good old Trevor Simeon.
Oh, God. Trevor Siemian.
Mm-hmm. The Denver Bronco great.
There's a lot of quarterback talk on this show right now. Dr. Rick MD said this is the first for a sports talk show. Hey, man. Well, Rick, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the comment.
Oh yeah.
Always appreciate the new comments. Always appreciate people coming in and checking us out. Alan, Atlanta's offensive coordinator is Tommy Reese. Him and Kevin Stefanski will be running the offense in Atlanta. They were both together in Cleveland, so
Yeah, I gotta agree with Anthony. I think Tua is starting. I think he's already. It's his job to lose, which is kind of sad to think about.
okay. Now the question: what do you trust more, Tua not getting knocked out or Penix's
Don't
knees
ask me
falling
that.
off?
Don't ask me that. I can't answer that question.
Bold prediction:
Trevor Siemian.
Trevor Siemian starts at least 3 games next year.
Trevor
Bold
Siemian.
prediction right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Bookmark this show. Clip this. He starts 3 games in 2026.
Trevor Siemian's going to be the key piece to that quarterback room because he's going to be the only one healthy at some point in the year.
maybe at the deadline they trade back for Cousins and they just get here. You got Mendoza here. Call it a day.
Oh my! Wow.
Hey man, I'm
make
just
Atlanta cover the rest of his guaranteed money. That'd be a big finesse.
on top of the 8.7 they're already paying him. Oh my god. I think we. Anywho, let's move on to another bit of news we had over this past weekend. Dustin, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Dustin?
Dustin and I will be back on Wednesday morning for hitting home this week. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into our second bit of talk on this NFL Monday because we have a lot to get through. Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, a lot of rumors. Travon Walker's name came up in some trade talks. There were a lot of draft day trade possibilities for him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look like he's going to be going anywhere. Signing a 4-year, $110 million contract extension. It includes $77 million guaranteed and $50 million fully guaranteed at signing. What do we think about that? That's a lot of money.
It worries me. It's a lot of money. I will say this is probably one of the first times that I've seen the Jaguars pay top dollar to keep one of their edge rushers.
But real quickly, Dustin, absolutely.
100%. So wait, is Kirk Cousins his own agent? Does he not have an agent?
Doesn't matter. Either way, they're either one,
Yeah,
either one
way.
or two Hall of Famers.
One of them's getting in.
Alan, I'll agree. Kyle Pitts has been kind of disappointing based off the hype he had in college. He did have a better year this past year.
I think Stefanski will definitely get more production out of him. He showed flashes last year, ironically, when Kirk Cousins was on the field. But I definitely think you're going to see a lot of him in London in the passing game. And then, of course, you got Bijan. I mean, that'll help anybody.
And Dustin said that he does have an agent.
Okay. I think his agent makes him in the Hall of Fame, not him.
Anthony, we're going to get to this just in a little bit. After we talk a little bit about the Travon Walker thing, we're going to talk about this as well. Oh, man, the YouTube guys are flying tonight. Jack, what's going on, man? Thanks for tuning in. And Jack wants to know our host teams. Jack, we're both Eagles fans.
Yes, we are. But as you could tell from the title of this show, we are unbiased. We talk about all 32 NFL football teams, even if some of them are painful to talk about.
Including the Las Vegas Raiders, who are not painful to talk about. We actually enjoy what they're doing.
They're doing a lot of good things right now.
And, you know, we are about to talk about the Travon Walker's extension. But, Jack, while you're here with us, throw in the comments, man. What do you think about Kirk Cousins coming to the Raiders? Tyler and I are kind of mixed off it. I personally could see a scenario where Cousins starts week 1 and Mendoza sits behind him, learns the NFL, learns the offense, develops a little bit, then gets into to starting. Maybe it's later on in the season, or maybe they do a full year to develop him. Because I think this Cousins move has a big Tom Brady influence. Tyler doesn't fully agree with me.
I
He
think
thinks
there's
it's
a
more of
shot
him being the
Mendoza
backup.
just fights for the job in training camp and maybe wins it.
I think it's a very good shot. But all right, Tyler, let's hop into this Travon Walker extension. There's a lot
Travon
to take
Walker.
into that.
I do not like the timing of this deal. You're paying him basically based off of his second and third year in the league. And this past year, granted he missed 3 games and his production was down to his rookie numbers at 3.5 sacks. I don't like how big of a deal he got based off of his last year of play. If we're talking about the contract coming off of those back to back 10 plus sack seasons, then it makes a little more sense, but it worries you now. We've seen so many guys get complacent after they get these big contracts. Is he going to be another one of those? Do we only see even maybe 5 sacks next year? 5 sacks ain't worth what they just paid him. You're paying him to be a guy who can get you double digit sacks every year, no questions asked.
And, we're speaking of number one overall picks.
Yeah.
This was a guy that was part of those great Georgia defenses, and I'm not saying he went number one overall because of others, but playing next to Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter in college will get you drafted high.
That's kind of what I've been saying about all these people that the Eagles bring in. Everyone looks better next to those two. That's why they're so fundamental for them to keep. And they already started with Jordan Davis. Carter's going to be next. But that's why I don't know if they go and they try to trade for a big name edge rusher. I don't think we see that.
My biggest concern with Walker is, again, it's like you said, it's very inconsistent. It's 3.5 sacks, 10.5 sacks, 10 sacks, back down to 3.5. Granted, they did go through a little bit of a defensive scheme change this past year, but as a number one overall pick, you are asked to be like an impact player. I'm talking like top edge rushers in the league. And is he even top 15 at this point?
With his numbers, no.
So
I think
I
every
don't know what
Eagles edge rusher last year had more than that.
you may be right.
I'd have to
Jalen,
confirm, but if it's not the same, it's pretty close. I'm gonna go look that up real quick.
all right. Well, while you do that, I'm going to jump back into the comments because I'm the Kirk Cousins thing has been the highlight of the show so far.
Well, Jalen's son
Dustin said
had 6.5.
yes. Dustin said Cousins will start weeks 1 through 8, and then Mendoza will take over in week 9. Allen brought up again that Pitts is a mismatch, and so is London. Allen, I don't think we're going to completely disagree on that because I think they could be both red zone demons if they wanted to. Mikey's in here. What's up, Mikey? Yup,
What's up,
Kirk
Mikey?
over there in Vegas now.
Here's
Dustin
another
said,
one for you.
shoot,
Even Nolan Smith had 3, and he only played 12 games.
another guy on that elite Georgia defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin said Kubiak runs the same scheme as O'Connell runs in Minnesota. He has said the offense is as a complex offense that benefits from a veteran running the offense. I get. Do I need to convince you otherwise?
Yeah.
All right, Jack's got a good question for us here. What do you guys think about Nakobe Dean for both teams? Honestly, TB12 and the head coach want Mendoza to sit and for a bit or even the entire season, we will see. So he thinks that Cousins is also going to be the bridge quarterback, but he wants our thoughts on the Kobe Dean. I like that question. Jack, I'm going to give you one thing. Take good care of him. We love Nakobe. We miss him.
I'm gonna bless the Raiders by saying I hope that he has the healthiest year of his career. And if he does, he's going to be a centerpiece of that defense and a very, very important part.
He's going to be the leader of that defense. I know
He
Max is
will.
there, but that he is going to be the
I
leader.
don't want to say he should have the captain badge year one, but I mean, if there's a guy that might deserve it, it might be him because he will be a leader on that defense.
Yeah, exactly. He has been a natural born leader of a defense again. Going back to the Georgia days. Another guy from that elite Georgia defense. And when he's healthy, he's one of the best off-ball blitzing linebackers in the game. You're getting a great player. And I still think we have not seen his best football because of injuries. But if he stays healthy, Jack, you're getting a special player.
Oh yeah,
Because the last 2 years he was here in Philly when he played, because I mean he sat behind guys for his first year, and 2023 was just an embarrassment because I mean, God, did we have Zach Cunningham starting at linebacker that year?
we did.
Yeah,
Zach
along with
Cunningham.
Nicholas Morrow. Well, I don't want to remember Nicholas Morrow, so
Hey, Nicholas Morrow played with some heart. Not much talent, but heart.
which was ripped out of his chest by Deebo Samuel when he tried to attempt to tackle him 15 times.
Oh yikes!
Anthony said if Kirk does good or bad, you can't bench him. That's a lot of money for a number. Well, I mean, Anthony, I think Kirk kind of expects that there is a chance he will be replaced by Mendoza at some point this season.
Yeah.
Speaking of which is actually kind of funny, the Raiders just made the Kirk Cousins signing official.
Oh nice.
What a great start to this show. What a great show this has been so far. Mikey, what Jalen you talk about?
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, I hope you're not talking about our Jalen. It's no chance.
Either of my Jalen's.
Oh, definitely neither of them. I didn't even
You
consider
get,
Carter.
you get none of my Jalen's.
You know what? Jalen Rager. Oh wait, he's probably a free agent. You can already have him.
Jack said Raiders are playing chess. Cousins contract. Yeah, I mean, Jack, it's a good 1 year deal. You're gonna, Mikey. I'll get to you in a second.
No.
Absolutely not. But no, Jack, it's a perfect 1 year deal for a guy like Cousins. Like we said, Kubiak runs a lot of the Kevin O'Connell style type offense. It's a very complex offense to learn for a rookie quarterback. So not only do you have a guy in Cousins who's worked with Kubiak in the past in Minnesota, he can run that system. He knows the system. He could teach it to Mendoza and run it in the year he is there in Las Vegas. It makes perfect sense. Yeah, Jack, they got him and Quay Walker, so you got both them Georgia linebackers now. The Raiders have honestly, I think they're better with Crosby right now. That defense is loading up on talent.
They are.
And like I said this when we were talking free agency. My God, these comments are flying. You take out Max Crosby, your top edge rusher would have been Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye's been a solid pass rusher in his career. Now you're pairing him opposite of Max Crosby, which I think is going to help a lot.
It's going to
I
make
understand
his job a lot easier.
And I understand, the trade that didn't go through, and I get it sucks. But guess what? Max Crosby's still a damn good football player.
Oh, he is. He's going to be out for revenge next year.
Exactly. He's going to come out and prove the lead that, Baltimore didn't want me because they thought I was damaged goods. Watch this.
I hope they put that game on prime time. I hope they play each other next year.
Oh, I do too. I hope that's Sunday Night Football. No, not Thursday Night Football. Amazon, stay away.
Oh, man. Well, we know the reasoning, Sam.
Look at this real quick. Fun update for baseball. Due to winter-like temperatures in Chicago tomorrow, the White Sox move their game from 6:40 to 1:30 in the afternoon.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Baseball in April.
Jeez.
Mikey, no, you will not be getting Jalen Hurts.
Nope.
George saying that Cleveland's doing the same thing. What's up, Georgie?
What's going on, Georgie?
Mikey, that's a bad rumor. Oh, Jack, that is no secret. I think Howie Roseman just sits in Georgia's
I think he has season
games.
tickets. And when he can't
DVRs
go,
every
he just
game.
he hands them out to the staff members, and he's like, "All right, go watch them. Write some notes down."
All right, he gives it to his SEC scout. You're going to see some SEC teams this week. Who am I going to see? Georgia. Saw them last
There
year.
is no
Going
SEC
again.
scout. It's the Georgia scout. That's it.
It's the Georgia. Oh, you know there's other schools, right? I don't.
Yeah. We'll put somebody else on that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, you guys did steal one of our front office men. I'm not happy about it. I'm still not happy about it. But knowing the Eagles, they always find those guys for their front office. But it's a good thing for the Raiders. They're starting to turn corners. All right. So Alan said almost time for Michigan UConn. Scares me being a Michigan fan. Watched the unbelievable championship in '89. Boy, but UConn has the best coach in college basketball. They do, Alan, but I still think Michigan's just the best team in the country. I don't know how you beat them.
I mean, Michigan may.
So,
we'll give our little recap on
yeah, we're going to get into some Final Four talk in just a bit. Dustin, we're going to jump into that right now. I'm just trying to fly through our comments real quick. Oh, Jack, why did you have to ask me this question? Thoughts on the Jacorian Bennett for Thomas Booker trade? You want him back?
Not in particular.
I mean, it was I think Thomas Booker, if he actually can carve out a role on the Raiders' defensive line, could be a very solid rotational defensive tackle. I think it was a good trade for the Raiders because I think Booker actually does have some talent. He was developing solidly in Philadelphia before they got rid of him. And I think Jacorian Bennett can kick rocks because if you can't get on the field ahead of Keely Ringo, I can't help you.
Yeah. His best chance was last year. Now he has no chance getting on the field.
And Dustin's had thoughts on Michael Malone. Oh, yeah, Mike Malone took the UNC job instead of going back to the NBA. I mean, yeah, 15 million good reasons why to go to college basketball.
Well, let's hope that he has some better success of resurrecting UNC basketball than Bill Belichick had of. You know where I'm going with this. You knew where I was going with this. Yeah. Let's just hope for some better success for UNC basketball, because March Madness is always better when North Carolina is making a big run,
and when Duke loses,
exactly. Both of those.
Yeah, Jack. I mean, look, it's two guys that are like reserve type players, but I think Thomas Booker, the upside with him, has a lot more than Jacorian Bennett. I think Jacorian Bennett kind of just is what he is at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Dustin, they lost in the Elite Eight, and they weren't the best team in the country.
Yeah. There's no such thing as choke. If you dominate, you dominate. So far, I've seen Michigan do nothing but dominate. So
and it's been since day one of the season.
Yeah. Until proven otherwise, yeah, they're the best team in the country.
All right, where do we want to go here? Do we want to go with Dexter Lawrence request or the Final Four? Because the chat's all over. So,
man, let's see. Well, Dustin put both of them. So let's start with Dexter Lawrence. He put that one first.
All right, so yes, as we all saw today, Dexter Lawrence has requested a trade out of New York. Lawrence is coming off of a somewhat down year. He only had a half a sack. And apparently, the reports were coming out that he has been asking for a possible new contract over the past, with 2 years remaining on his current deal. A lot of the brasses in New York thought with the turnover with the coaching staff and all that, it would buy them some more time. Dexter still wants a new deal. The Giants are still unwilling to work with him on it. He is now wants out. So, Tyler, where are some realistic thoughts? And what do we think? Where are some destinations for Dexter Lawrence if he is traded? Because we already know when it comes to this. When you ask to be traded, it's a money grab. And usually the
Yeah.
team pivots into here's the money.
Yeah, it is. So, one place I'm going to look at here is the 49ers.
It's a good name to bring up first because
I look at it
they've
as
already.
they could also, the 49ers could offload Brandon Ayuk in that trade.
I think the Giants hang up the phone.
I mean, you lost Wandale Robinson. What's wrong with trying to give Ayuk a chance?
I mean, but here's the thing: the Niners already kind of addressed the defensive tackle room. They have Alfred Collins and C.J. West, who they just drafted last year, and they already acquired Osa Odighizuwa from Dallas for a third rounder. Here are their numbers from this past year. Now, remember, Odighizuwa is a rotational defensive tackle in Dallas most of the year because of Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Odighizuwa last year, 3.5 sacks, 52 pressures, 20 QB hits, 29 hurries. Dexter Lawrence last year, a half a sack, 34 pressures, 7 QB hits, 27 hurries. I don't know if it makes a lot of sense. And also, I believe if this is correct, the Giants are asking for a first and second round pick.
First,
Yeah, I'm not. If Odighizuwa got you a third round pick, I don't think you're getting a first and a second for Dexter Lawrence.
Now, I get Dexter Lawrence had a down year last year. Can I use it as the Giants being an excuse? I mean, the Giants, they kind of went through a lot last year. With, rookie quarterback, injuries, coaching change-ups. But when you look at Dexter Lawrence's career so far, he is one of the top defensive tackles in the league. He's an elite run stuffer. He's a perfect disruptor. He's not going to get you double-digit sacks. But what he's going to do,
9 a couple years ago.
Yeah, he did. But what he's going to do is he's going to disrupt, cut off running lanes, pressure the quarterback.
Yeah, and I mean, he's one of the premier interior defensive linemen in the league. And I have a very interesting team that could be an option. Before I do, I want to just catch up on the comments. Yes, Jack, I am a Flyers fan. We don't talk a lot of hockey because I mostly am Philly loyal. My co-host over here does not care for the sport of hockey, which is okay. No judge.
What's hockey?
Okay, stop it. But Jack, I will say, yes, Celebrini is a stud. And if you get Gavin McKenna, oh my God. I'm enjoying Porter Martone right now, so I'm in kind of hockey heaven again, fighting for the playoffs. And Dustin said we have snow flurries at Wright Field right now. Not to take one off the end of the bat. Ooh, I can feel the sting in my hands. Oh, wait, hold on. Comments are flying in. And I'm clicking on the wrong ones. Anthony said, I saw a rumor the Chiefs have interest in trading for Trent Williams. That was something that came up earlier in the offseason because the Niners and him haven't reached an agreement on a revised contract. So, I mean, look, the Chiefs got to protect whoever their quarterback is next year.
Yeah.
Dustin, would the Cowboys really have a fit for Dexter Lawrence? They've already got Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark.
Yeah, if Quinnen wasn't there, I'd say yes.
Without a doubt. Even if Kenny Clark wasn't there, I would say yes. You pair those two together? Oh, my God.
That's a pairing I never thought I'd see.
That's a pairing I don't want to see.
Yeah, Cowboys got enough. Keep Jerry off the phone.
What about Baltimore?
Baltimore, they could use the help up front.
Because let me ask you this, right? Who's worth more, do you think? Max Crosby or Dexter Lawrence?
Like big contract wise,
No,
or
draft
like
capital
impact
wise.
wise. Oh, draft capital wise.
Draft capital. Crosby was get
Crosby.
okay. So you don't. So you're not going to have to trade 2 first rounders for Dexter Lawrence.
Not at all.
And we are all in agreement that 2027 is a loaded draft class, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, even though I still don't like what the Baltimore Ravens did, what would you rather have heading into 2026? Max Crosby and no first round picks for 2 years, or Trey Hendrickson, Dexter Lawrence, and you still have at least your 2027 first round pick? Because I know they have Metabike at defensive tackle, but he's coming off that neck injury. You don't know what Metabike you're getting.
Yep.
So if I'm Baltimore and my defense, Jesse Minter wants to get this defense back to where it should be, I will easily take Dexter Lawrence on my team.
I think another good fit could possibly be the Bills. Bills defense had some struggles last year.
Pair him with Ed Oliver?
Yeah, because I mean, Ed Oliver, he's another guy, has not been as great as they were hoping he would be when they drafted him all those years ago.
I'm going to say a team that's going to drive you insane.
Don't even say the Browns.
What about the Rams? They can't stop the run.
Gosh. Man,
Dexter
they
Lawrence.
can't, but how are they going to pay him?
Doesn't matter. They just traded for Trent McDuffie. They have the. You're telling me the Giants would take the 13th overall pick for Dexter Lawrence?
I was looking at what Dustin just put.
Hold on, I'm trying to catch up.
Man, we got quite a few. Oh, we got to get through these, man. I didn't even see those. I missed them.
I'm trying. Oh, Mikey, good for you.
Hot in Florida? That checks out.
Dustin said Cowboys have draft assets they can part with to land Lawrence. Same as the Lions are another team. They need defensive help.
They do. They could afford them.
And Mikey was
that
like,
would help out with Aiden Hutchinson too.
Yes. Yeah, Jack. They did take the kid from Ohio State in the first round, so I don't see that. But Trent Williams would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, when you draft Simmons in the first round, is really going to be a thing. I mean, yeah. Could the Raiders make the move too?
They could. They gotta. They could definitely make it happen with a first rounder. Maybe they give next year's first rounder. Obviously, they're not this year's.
Yeah, but again, I don't know if teams are going to want to give up draft picks for next year because of the class. It could be loaded.
Yeah, I think they would stay put. The Raiders. They got to try and rebuild through the draft more. I'd keep that draft capital.
Jack was agreeing with us and saying that Max was worth more draft capital, which I agree. Okay. Dustin, why would I give the Super Bowl champions Dexter freaking Lawrence?
Please no.
But I also said let's give him to the Rams too.
Please no.
Yeah,
while how it went down was scummy, it was the right move for him. It made sense from a business team standpoint. It made sense.
And now Dustin's bringing up that the Bills are trying to move on from Ed Oliver. Would the Giants take Ed Oliver back in the deal? I mean, it would be at least someone who could fill in for.
Yeah, I mean that's some justification there too. I mean, both first round picks, top 10 first round picks. And maybe. But
Okay,
then you got to look at how do the Giants value Ed Oliver.
Anthony. I'm not saying that Max isn't the better player. I'm saying that would you rather have just Max Crosby or would you rather have your first round pick for next year, Dexter Lawrence and Trey Hendrickson?
They're essentially getting more for maybe slightly less production than Max Crosby.
George, the guy just requested a trade this afternoon. I'm not doing what ifs. I'm literally basing it off of what he wants, and he wants to get traded.
Yeah.
You know what? That's it. We're not
Because I
trading him
mean,
to
it's
Cleveland.
not like Lawrence just said, "I'm going to hold out for a new contract." He straight up requested to be traded over the contract dispute, and he's not going to
Which
show up to
nine
the camp.
which 9 times out of 10, because he's already said he's not going to show up to their offseason
Yeah.
program. But again,
Mhm.
9 times out of 10, this results in the contract getting figured out because the team's like, well, we don't want to get rid of this guy.
Yeah. So and maybe it works, and he strong hands him and gets the deal that he wants. We'll find out.
Wasn't it Crosby for a bit? But it's not. Who is it now? Who is the highest paid non quarterback?
Highest paid not was it? Wait, was it
Who?
not Garrett?
Yeah, I'm saying, is it not Miles Garrett, or has it been switched up already?
It's possible it could have been changed already. It's always changing.
Okay, and Jack, here's my point with this. I'm not saying that Trey Hendrickson is better than Max Crosby. I'm not saying
Mhm.
I'm not saying DeMarcus Lawrence is better than Max Crosby. What I'm saying is, as great as Max Crosby is, he was not going to solely fix the Ravens' issues.
Sam, I had to look up the answer to the question. It's
Was I
Micah
right?
Parsons.
Holy crap!
Yeah. 46.5 million per year. That beat TJ Watt's record, which was 41 million a year, which beat Jamar Chase's 40.25 million a year, which beat Miles Garrett's 40 million a year. It's just his was the biggest jump incrementally. Oh my gosh, are we gonna have to pay 45 million for Jalen Carter a year?
That's why the
Oh my
Eagles are
gosh.
reportedly trying to get this deal done
Oh
now.
my gosh.
That's fine. It's
They need to.
fine.
Cause you know what's gonna be really telling? When Dexter Lawrence gets his new contract, whether it be with the Giants or another team. Because Carter gets more than him. So whatever he gets, I'm scared to see that.
You may want to extend Jalen Carter before that happens.
Yeah, Howie might want to start getting some meetings set.
Anthony, I'm not sure how much of the Ravens you watched last year, but did you see their front four? It wasn't very productive.
Whole
They,
defense
again,
was productive.
that's the point I'm making. Max Crosby, one of the best edge rushers in the game. He doesn't fix the Ravens' problems by himself.
And they keep
You need,
2 first-round picks now.
yes, that's the point I'm making.
That's the bigger point.
Hendrickson makes them better. Lawrence makes them better. Keeping your first round picks will make them better. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying anyone. Max Crosby is a game changer, but the Ravens need more than just one game changer.
Yeah.
Oh, Dustin, is Christian Wilkins finally getting some look at for NFL teams? And Vikings, Lions on Thursday, Rams Friday. I still don't know what happened in that Raiders locker room, and I don't, quite frankly, think I want to know what happened in that Raiders locker room.
All you got to know is it's hard to find a good pass rusher. That's all.
Let's not do this now, please.
That's why the football gods helped them out by sending Crosby back.
George, I'm just messing with you. As two gentlemen have worked overnights before, it's not fun. We get the pain.
Oh yeah, he's trying to reacclimate.
All right. Just want to get into some Final Four recap real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, real quickly. Jack, that's an understatement.
Ravens O line, they need to rebuild. and fast.
They had to find some long term answers for that because Linderbaum leaving, that's a killer on that offensive
Mm-hmm.
line. Well, Final Four kind of went exactly how I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it. I called it. I said that Michigan was probably going to beat Arizona by 20 because they are just an insanely dominant team. UConn, they barely pulled off the win, but a win nonetheless. I need you guys in the comments here. Help me figure out how UConn stands a chance against Michigan because I don't see it.
Anthony said Michigan by 5, and Jack answered the question earlier for us. He said Trent Williams is the highest paid non-quarterback.
Really? I don't know. Let me see. He may have set the record at one point.
Let's say, isn't the highest paid non-quarterback? Doesn't that change like once a week?
Oh, once a year. Let's see. Back in 2024, his average was 27.5 million. Um, this year he's gonna make 33 million potentially. He has an insane cap hit though.
Which is why him and the Niners are coming off to these freaking
Yeah,
crazy
40,
freaking.
$46.3 million cap hit for this season.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
All right, and Dustin's going back to the Final Four, and he's saying UConn wins the game because they've been there, done it before. 2 of the last 3 natties, and they have a chip on their shoulder. Anthony is saying that UConn season was easy.
Mm.
I don't know how your season's easy if you're in the national championship. Okay, Jack's kind of meaning in the terms of money that's made.
Oh, money made.
Oh, that's true because Trent Williams, he's the
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins of offensive
he
linemen.
had a lot of guaranteed money in his deal. Oh yeah.
Dustin said UConn has turned into March Madness dynasty for both men and women. Once the tournament starts, they turn it on. Exactly. Some teams just say
Yeah,
it
well, I did see UConn. They lost their first game of the season, and it came at the worst time. So I get it. Love what UConn's done this year. UConn basketball. I mean, they're almost a mainstay in this March Madness tournament. They're no stranger to the Final Four, no stranger to the championship game. But this Michigan team, they just slap teams around. Like they made a dominant Arizona team look like they didn't belong.
and that's what people were saying. This honestly should have been the national championship if this wasn't the way the bracket
Yeah,
fell.
I said that
But
too. Yeah, that honestly kind of was the national championship game. Now who knows?
thank
We
God it
could be
wasn't.
shocked. We could be shocked tonight.
We could be. But again, I mean, Michigan has been the most dominant team in college basketball almost the entire season. How do you
Yeah.
not? I mean, and I know UConn's got best coach in the sport. They're one of the best teams in the sport, but like, oh man, I just watched an outfielder tweak his hamstring on a fly ball.
Ugh.
My man is hobbling. It's that cold Chicago weather. Now Dustin makes a point here. He said Michigan has slapped people around. However, they did lose at home to Wisconsin and they lost to Duke. Many felt that Duke Michigan game was going to be the natty. Well, if Duke wasn't Duke and
Yeah.
they choked it away, it could have been.
So let's see.
Now,
Wait, they didn't lose to Wisconsin. They lost to
I
Purdue.
make it. Oh
Oh wait,
God,
they did lose to Wisconsin.
about to say
Wisconsin and Purdue and Duke. Yeah, the Wisconsin
everybody
loss was
else.
early in the season. But I
Villanova
mean,
beat Wisconsin in
they
overtime this
lost
year. Actually,
they lost to Wisconsin by 3. They lost to Duke by 5. They lost to Purdue by 8. Whatever. So
okay. So you're saying
far, in the last 3 games of the NCAA tournament, they beat Alabama 90-77, Tennessee 95-62, Arizona 91-73. I mean, those are all teams that should be able to hold their own. I'm not saying they should have beat them, but at least held their own. And they boat raced them.
yes, but then again, the one thing that I've always said about teams like that, and I think Michigan's going to win, but when you play games like that where you're just constantly blowing teams out, your situational awareness in close games isn't always the best. Now they've lost 3 games by under 10. All 3 of their losses came from under 10 points. That is something that plays a factor into this.
Very true.
That is the one
But
thing why now I'll be real. I'm not a very big March. This is probably the most I've followed March Madness since Jay Wright retired from Villanova. Why did Villanova win those 2 national titles? Their situational awareness was always on point. They played close games against good teams. They beat good teams in close games. And which is ultimately why they won their 2 national titles. A team that blows teams out all the time, like I'll give you that one right there. You know, one of the hottest teams in college basketball were that year? Oklahoma, led by Buddy Hield.
yeah, that's
They
true.
blew out everybody. Then guess what happened? They played the better team in Villanova, and we blew the doors off of them. So situational awareness matters in games, especially in the national title. Now the line is 6.5 in favor of Michigan. That's a pretty strong line.
I put the line a little closer to 8.
You think it's going to be more?
I do.
So you don't think UConn's going? So you don't think that Terrace Reed and UConn have a chance?
Uh, a chance to lose respectfully.
You're about to have me root for UConn. Dustin said Michigan was the most dominant team from November through early February. Once Duke won that last game, they became the most dominant team. Duke 14 straight games to end the regular season, winning by 30 or more, and 9 times. Yes, that is true. But then look what happened.
Yeah.
Jack's bringing up early season losses haunt you. Just look at Notre Dame. I would love to see Notre Dame and Indiana both in the same state. Would have been a very fun game to watch. That is true. I mean, college football and college basketball are 2 different things, but I mean, we know how early season losses did for Notre Dame football this past year.
Yep.
And Dustin said Duke lost 3 games this season by a total of 6 points. All 3 came on buzzer beaters. Jesus. He also went to add on that Duke came 3 shots away from still playing and being undefeated, not making excuses for them. But regardless how Michigan looks right now, I felt Duke was the most dominant team in the nation since day one, led the country in ranked wins. All right, I will agree with that. But I still think Michigan has been just as dominant, and I think that would have been a fun game.
Oh, it would have.
Anthony saying Michigan will win the first half, which usually bodes well for them. Zolt's got Michigan by 7. No words, George. No freaking words.
Wow.
And yeah, Jack, yeah, congratulations to UCLA's women. They won the national title last night.
Oh, wow.
Didn't they defeat who they play in? Was it South Carolina?
Yes, South Carolina. South Carolina is the one who knocked off UConn.
And Dustin said the NCAA tournament is all about matchups. Despite being number 1 overall seed, Duke had the toughest bracket for the 4 number 1 overall seeds, and UConn was a bad matchup for them due to the experience in big games an over inexperienced freshman. Yeah. And again, I go back to that Duke and UConn game. And the one thing when you talk about experience, Duke was first half, Duke had that game on wraps. The
They did.
problem is
Yeah.
UConn is so experienced and they didn't cave in. When an inexperienced team falls behind by 16, they're trying to shoot their way back into that game.
Mm-hmm.
UConn just attacked the paint constantly. Terrace Reed had a big game. Terrace Reed's going to be the big one to watch tonight for UConn. Can they get him
Oh
going
yeah.
in the paint early?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they can, that's how they can kind of stove off a Michigan run. Because if they can keep getting
It's
high
gonna be
quality
tough
shots
though
in the paint,
because the setter that Michigan's got, he's averaging 2.6 blocks a game, so he can protect the rim. But
so it's going to be
from
a
what I saw, Terrace Reed, he can play inside the painted area. He knows how to maneuver it, and he can score.
and again, like Dustin said, UConn has the experience here. Does that experience play a big factor into this game?
I don't know. I can't sell myself on UConn. I can't do it.
Really?
I can't do it.
Anthony, he's a sports writer. It's in his nature.
It's in his blood.
It literally is. I read most of his stories. And Dustin brought up that Derek Hill for the White Sox is having a brutal last 24 hours. Fouled one off his
Oh, wow.
face yesterday. Now he fouls one off. Oh, yay. Dustin's going UConn wins 74-70.
Oh, 74-70. Wow. So we don't think any team's making it into the 80s.
No.
I'm going to go my final score 80-72.
Okay, who's winning?
I think I've made that abundantly clear so far on this show. But Michigan.
I'm going to go Michigan 80. I'm going to go 85-79. This is going to be a high scoring game. So I'm going to go 85-79 Michigan. I think UConn's going to give them a run, but until I'm proven otherwise, Michigan is still just the best team in the country until I'm proven wrong, which I could be.
Yeah, I'm open to that. If it happens, I won't be mad. You know, I don't have stock in either one of these teams. But from what I see, Michigan's the most dominant team in this matchup.
Yeah. And Dustin, I agree with this. And like I said again, because of UConn's experience, they are not afraid to take high-profile shots. Even with Duke's front court, which was very good this year, they weren't afraid to attack them in the paint, even being down all those points. And I think that they're going to do it again tonight with Michigan. As long as they have Terrace Reed in the middle, I think they're going to attack in the paint. And I don't think they care what the score is or how they get it, but I think it's a very high possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm going to go 85-79 Michigan. So I'll go with a 6-point game. I think that's a very fair assessment of that. But all right, Tyler, we have anything else we want to bring up on tonight's show?
I think that was all of our topics for the night.
Yeah, I think that's a very good way to wrap up a very fun show. Guys, thank you guys so much for absolutely flooding the comments tonight. Dustin, of course, always throwing in his paragraphs, as Anthony says. But a big thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. You know, Georgie, Zolt, throwing in your comments as well. Our new commenters on YouTube, Jack, appreciate you joining the comments here. We are live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time for Unbiased. Hitting home is every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, we have our Birds of the Gridiron show, which is our Eagles exclusive off-season show, Fridays at 8. But we are not afraid to get into some other NFL topics. My thing doesn't want to work, so I can't get down to there we go. And Anthony said, during this tournament, Michigan scored over 90 points. They rightly could do it again. I definitely think it's a very good topic. Oh, yeah, I did see that Angel Reese got traded this afternoon.
Oh. That's not a shot against the WNBA, but Angel Reese stinks.
Wow, that is a very bold statement.
That is a bold statement.
So always coming in with the good ones.
Normal. Oh, man. Normal time.
Oh, my goodness. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap it up for the night. Thank you once again for everybody who joined us. Once again, thank you for all of our commenters again. Jack joining us on YouTube as a first-time commenter. Jack, we appreciate you. Hope to see you in the chat on future episodes. Alan, of course, throwing in the Facebook comments. Mikey, as always, as well. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Normal schedule is back on this week. Hitting Home is back this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll get caught up on some Major League Baseball action, and then we'll go back on Friday for some Birds of the Gridiron, which will be Eagles draft targets. Yeah, this week we'll actually be able to talk normal Eagles football, not the crap that we had to discuss last week. But guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and we will see you guys next time. For Tyler Adams, I'm Sam Nelson. Good night, everybody.
The following has been a presentation of 609 Sports Talk Radio.
Sam, what did you do?